In this pod, we will look at the impact of President Hindenburg's death on Hitler's rise to power.
Field Marshal Paul von Hindenburg was elected President of Germany in 1925. He was a conservative nationalist who had been a member of the German army during the First World War. He was widely admired by the German population and seen as one of Germany's greatest war heroes. However, he was also an elderly president and was in his 80s by the 1930s. Hindenburg's position as President of Germany was the final obstacle in Adolf Hitler's path for the total control of Germany. Hitler had already eliminated all external political opposition and purged the Nazi leadership during the Night of the Long Knives in 1934. Nonetheless, the president's constitutional powers still meant that Hitler could be dismissed at any point.
Hindenburg did not approve of Hitler as Chancellor, and the two men had an obvious dislike for one another. However, constant political pressure had forced the president to offer Hitler the chancellorship on the 30th of January 1933. Since then, several measures ensured that Hitler's political power was absolute. When it became apparent in 1934 that the president was very unwell and dying from lung cancer, Hitler seized his opportunity to fully complete this process. He formalized a plan that would ensure upon Hindenburg's death that the power of the president would quickly transfer to him. He asked the Reich cabinet, select members from the ruling governmental party, to plan changes to the constitution that would combine the position of president and chancellor upon the current president's death. As the president was seen as the supreme commander of the armed forces, this would also make him the head of the German military. The cabinet agreed and enacted the law concerning the highest state office of the Reich on the 1st of August, 1934.
President Hindenburg died on the 2nd of August 1934. Knowing his death was approaching, Hindenburg wrote down his future wishes for Germany and shared them with von Papen, the Vice-Chancellor of Germany. Hindenburg requested that the monarchy be reinstated. This pleased von Papen as it would appeal to the army and industrial elites. However, on discovering Hindenburg's final wishes, Hitler made the decision to withhold the details. Though the cabinet had agreed to Hitler's plan to combine the roles of president and chancellor, he was concerned that the army would veto it in favor of Hindenburg's final wish.
Within hours of the president's death, the Reichstag announced the amendments and changes to the constitution. The changes were split into two sections. Section 1 stated that the office of the Reich President would be combined with the office of Reich Chancellor. This meant Hitler became the Führer, meaning leader. The previous titles of Chancellor and President were formally abolished. Section 2 of the changes predated the law to the time of Hindenburg's death. Hitler was now free to select his deputy and full cabinet. He was no longer tied to the Vice-Chancellor von Papen, who had been chosen by Hindenburg.
It's important to note that Hitler's law was not legal. It broke the original terms of the Weimar Constitution, as well as the terms of the Enabling Act of 1933. Both stated that the presidency could not be altered. The Enabling Act suggested that while Hitler could create laws that defied the Constitution, the president's powers were unaffected. It also stated that presidential powers should be passed to the High Court of Justice, not the Chancellor, in the event of the president's death. This did not stop Hitler and wouldn't in reality matter. By the time of Hindenburg's death, there was no opposition left to stop Hitler.
In August 1934, a plebiscite or public vote was held for the public. They were asked to decide if the position of president should remain independent or be combined with the role of chancellor. This had already been decided by the cabinet and was created as an act of formality. The public overwhelmingly voted in favor of the roles being combined. Hitler became the Führer, leader of the army and the state.